Be Ever Watchful Part 1, written by Brother Robert Watson Jr. and narrated by Brother Rich Knapp. Today we're bringing you an article from the Book of Sermons, published by the Church of Jesus Christ. We're sharing Part 1 today and look for Part 2 on Monday. 1 Corinthians 16:13 states, "Watch ye, stand fast in the faith, quit you like men, be strong." Upon reading this passage, we may divide it into 4 divisions. Each plays an important part in the advancement or retrogression of our lives. It can be readily seen that with the application of these admonitions in our lives, we flourish. With the neglect of such truths, we are destined to retrograde. Let us briefly examine them, and if we do so with an unbiased mind, they may supply the answers as to why we are not advancing spiritually. Many people have to burn themselves before they begin to watch for the dangers of fire. Our lives are greatly influenced by what we see, therefore watching is the root of learning. Distraction is an enemy to careful observation, and it should be avoided. The moment we take our eyes off our objective, we lose ground, which must be recovered. May I ask you, of just what does your daily life consist? Are you methodically forming routine habits which drive you to inactivity? Are you watching for opportunities to break down the barriers of indifference and idleness which rob you of daily blessings? Watching sharpens our alertness and sounds the alarm when danger comes. As the ship sails out into the perils of the open sea, the captain's eyes are trained to watch for the dangers of the deep, which constantly endanger the lives he has in his care. Similarly, we should train ourselves to watch for the infiltration of sin, which brings moral decay and ruin. Remember, if we do not answer to the rudder, we must answer to the rocks. It is far better to look where we are going than look back with remorse to where we have been. In Psalms 19:12 and 13, David says, "Cleanse thou me from secret faults. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins." Perhaps, if Judas Iscariot would have watched when the lust for money crept silently into his heart and would have destroyed it at its inception, he would not have been enslaved by the urge that led him to betray his master. If Eli would have watched and checked his sons while they were young and were forming habits, which would later develop into character, he would not have needed Samuel to come to him and prophesy of the ultimate destruction. Aaron was neglectful and did not watch for the symptoms of idolatry, which came in the form of discontent and unbelief. He could have, upon recognition, given himself to earnest prayer and saved the shameful display of ingratitude shown to God by worshiping the golden calf. As a last illustration, I would like to speak of David as he stood upon the palace roof and looked at Bathsheba, who was washing. If he only could have recognized the symptoms of adultery, which drew his eyes toward her with possessiveness, and applied restraint to his life, he would never have developed them into adultery. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of not only watching for these symptoms, but seeking a cure. I feel that more time should be spent on the prevention of sin. Then less time would be needed for combating sin. Watching also is the essence of action. For example, one would not stand idly by if his neighbor's house were burning, but he would instinctively engage himself with the work of shortening the life of the fire. Yet, as Christians, we insist on closing our eyes to the dire needs of this world, which is burning with degeneracy and is ripening fast for destruction.